Defeat for the Young Socceroos in their opening game of the Under-20 World Cup. It's Italy 1, Australia 0. A disappointing result for the Young Socceroos. But I think there's plenty of positives to take out of this performance. And there's a lot to talk about. So I'd love for you guys to join the conversation. What did you make of this game? And what are your feelings coming out of it, heading into the two remaining group stage games against Argentina, against Cuba, coming up later this week? Look, it is certainly a disappointing start to this campaign, but there were so many promising signs. There really were a lot of positives to take out of this match. So join the conversation in the comments section. We're going to be breaking down this match, taking a look at the lineup, looking at some of the match stats as well. And it's quite interesting just like looking at how this game panned out, considering what we saw from the stats and as well the lineup. There's a couple interesting calls that I think were made in the lineup, and we will start there. In fact, looking at the team that Trevor Morgan named here, Hall in goals, which I think was expected. It was a back four of Vincera, Esposito, Kikianas, and Taladera. Benny, Yuli, Ocon, Exler, and Badalado in midfield. Jovanovic and Toure leading the line. I think some fans maybe expected James Overy to come in at right back, starting ahead of Josh Insera. But Insera, I thought, had a pretty decent game overall. And I thought maybe we would have seen Badalado start in a central role, perhaps even Yuli out wide. We know a lot of these players can play like several different positions. Jovanovic and Toure starting up top. I thought maybe Max Caputo might have come in, but obviously those two guys played a lot of games together in the Asian Cup earlier this year as well. So when I woke up first thing this morning, early hours here on the east coast of Australia, saw this lineup, I was excited. I was optimistic. It was a good lineup, some good players there. And that's the thing that we said even in our preview video last week. It's like regardless of what lineup Trevor Morgan names, I think Australian fans have a reason to be excited going forward because we have such a strong competitive squad. You could completely rotate this starting 11 and I still would feel pretty optimistic heading into this game. That's how much quality I think we have in this team, and the competition for places is so hot at the moment. So the way this game panned out, obviously Stephen Hall, disappointing to give away that penalty really early on, and that was the big moment in the game. Italy converting that penalty, despite Hall guessing the right way. But I don't think we're going to have any complaints there. It was certainly a penalty. He just mistimed his challenge there. And it was a pretty frantic start to the game. Both teams with chances. It was pretty open early on. From a neutral point of view, I thought this match was probably really entertaining to watch overall. And Australia really started to create chances throughout that first half. Jovanovic threw on goal. Daniel Benny had a great chance towards the end of the half. And those were the moments for Australia that we really had to take. And that's the thing. When it comes to this tournament football, these big games, you have to take your chances. You simply have to take your chances. And that's what gave Italy the win in the end. They had their opportunity from the penalty spot. They took it and they defended really, really well. So credit to Italy for staying so resolute defensively, especially towards the end of that second half. Look, heading into that second period, I thought we were maybe a little bit more quiet. Even when all those changes were made later on in the game, I felt like we lost a bit of our edge. I don't know what it was. I guess the big factor there is probably the fact that Italy was sitting back quite a bit. They were wanting to hold on to their lead, fair enough. But that really affected our ability to get in behind and create any sort of threat, any sort of real chances on goal. Our best chances seemed to come in that first half when it was, Jovanovic, Benny sort of breaking away in behind the backline, which we did on numerous occasions. And that's one positive that I think we should take out of this game, how easily we did get in behind. And we have players who are fast. Jovanovic, Toure, Benny. These guys are players with pace, and a lot of guys on the bench as well. Fast players where if we can break the offside trap, they're dangerous heading in on goal. Unfortunately, on this occasion, those players weren't able to find the back of the net. But that was really the only aspect that was missing. Look, we should highlight the defense as well. Really good defense performance, I thought. I thought it was a really, really strong and well-organized performance from that back four. I thought Seb Esposito was fantastic, made some crucial defensive interventions throughout this game that kept the scores as it was. And that was the thing, watching this game, it wasn't painful. It was a good watch for Australian fans, but it was really tantalizing knowing that the margin was just that one goal difference. And one moment for Australia, it completely flips the game. But credit to our defense for just keeping us in the game, because Italy did have some really good chances towards the end of the game. And even Hall, who stepped up with some great saves throughout this match as well. So in terms of your all-round general play, the overall performance, it was actually fantastic. There wasn't too much wrong from Australia. A couple of times we were giving the ball away a little bit cheaply, which we do often see in any game, really. But again, I'm really happy with what we saw overall from Australia. Let's take a look at the stats. These come from Google. Italy are on top on some of these stats, but not that much. You can see only just a little bit more possession there for Italy. But for Australia, we should look at those 10 shots, 4 on target. Australia were creating opportunities and those great chances on goal. I mean, Daniel Benny wide of the mark. Jovanovic had one that just went wide as well. Those are probably our best chances, and they went off target. But we should be pleased with the opportunities that we did create. It was just missing that finishing touch. That is the thing that we are missing right now. It is all there. All the key parts were working really, really well in this game. We just need to finish off those opportunities. And hey, on another day, we may have come away from this game, with a 2-1 win, or even could have been like a 2-2 draw, or even a 3-3 draw. There were chances for both sides. But you look at these stats, coming up against an incredible footballing nation in Italy. This was an admirable performance from Australia, from the champions of Asia. And we have to make sure we maintain this belief heading into our upcoming games. It's important that the team doesn't let their heads drop. I'm sure they won't. This is a fantastic group of players. We did see on the broadcast, some frustration from some of those players who came off, who maybe weren't able to get on the score sheet. Understandably frustrated, man. A lot of hard work from Australia getting themselves into good positions and unable to find the back of the net. But hopefully this really fuels the team to take on Argentina and Cuba and really go for it now. What Australia have shown themselves here in this game is that they are able to compete with some of the best nations at this age group. You've got the Italian under-20 side, fantastic, really tough opponent to come up against here. And it's just a narrow 1-0 defeat to a penalty goal in a game where we were creating chances, getting in behind them on a regular basis, especially in that first half. We have to bottle that up, take that belief, take those positives and bring it into game 2 against Argentina. Because if we do that, we are capable of getting a result. I do genuinely believe that. And look, it might even mean some tweaks to the lineup. Look, if Trevor Morgan goes ahead and names the same starting 11 for Argentina on Thursday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time, I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd be fine. But I do wonder if he's tempted to bring in maybe Max Caputo for something different up front. Maybe even Jalen Pearman, who we know is super versatile and is someone who's capable of scoring from any distance. Even Thiago Quintal of Sydney FC, who came off the bench in this game as well. We know he provides a whole lot of trickery as well. So you've got players who have that X factor, who have that attacking ability, who could come in and really affect the game for Australia. And we may well see maybe a couple of changes in that game against Argentina. But the bottom line is, look, I'm sounding overly optimistic considering we've lost. We do have to get results. We have to get results now against Argentina and Cuba. That's what this result against Italy means. We do need to get results, and it starts on Thursday morning against Argentina. Let's head in with belief, with optimism that we can get a result. Because again, I think there's, I hope I'm just not being biased. I hope I don't have my green and gold glasses on. You know what I mean? Sort of viewing this through an Aussie lens. I do genuinely think this was a promising performance, and I still genuinely think we can have a really strong run at this tournament. Disappointing start, but we can bounce back from there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Join the conversation and join us for our live watch along for game 2. We will be live on Thursday morning for that Argentina game. A bit more of a more comfortable kickoff on Thursday morning. I think it's 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So come hang out in the live chat for that one on Thursday morning, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button on the way up. My name's Lockie, and I'll see you in the next one.